No Rehab for Wizards by John Cronshaw. Read by John Cronshaw. I cut off one of my eyelids today. It was definitely worth it. Now, why on earth would you want to do something like that? Mum asked. So I can control manatees, I said. And what do you want to control manatees for? I shrugged and turned the volume up on Match of the Day. Mum never gets me. She was banging on the other day about how I need to go into rehab. There's something not right about you, boy, she said. You're always chopping bits off you. It's not right. I tried to tell her there's no rehab for wizards. Magic always has a price, a sacrifice of flesh always has to be made. A chunk of skin off your arm will give you control of a mayfly. But what's the point in that? At least manatees have got a good shelf life. I was telling her the other day about these wizards around Birmingham way who kill dogs and badgers for their magic. I asked if she'd rather me do that. She just cried. The thing people don't realise about using animals is that if you want to take control of a dog, you have to kill about 13 or 14 of them. And even then, you only get to control one of those crappy little yappy ones. Seems pointless to me. When Mum had a go at me for lopping off my little toe a couple of weeks back, I made a joke that I'd sacrifice her if she carried on having a go at me. She cried at that as well, and I really only meant it as a joke. The thing is, though, the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. I'd have to work out how strong the magic would be if I did it, though I'm assuming it would be a bit like with the dogs. Kill a whole bunch of people to take control of a yappy one. I'd get in trouble for sure. But I'm thinking it'd probably count for more if it's your own mum. I mean, it must do, right? I turned off Match of the Day and went upstairs. And where do you think you're going? Mum asked. You're not going to chop off more body parts again, I hope. What would your father say if he could see you now with all them bits hanging off you? I turned back and smiled. I'm just going for a wee. Stick the kettle on, will you? When the kettle started to boil, I reached behind the toilet and pulled out my favourite blade. My finger ran across its edge, and I grinned as a small cut opened along my fingertip. Your tea's on the hearth, Mum said, shouting up the stairs. Come in. I tucked the knife into my hoodie. Limping back downstairs, I saw Mum had put EastEnders on. You don't mind me watching this on catch up, do you? You turned your football off. It's fine, I said. I stood behind her and looked down at her grey streaked hair. I took the knife and sliced it across her throat. She made a weird gurgling noise. I panicked and ran to the kitchen to grab some tea towels and a kitchen roll. I tried dabbing the blood, but it made a right mess. Mum always said that when I started to get in one of my panics, I should stop, take a deep breath, and have a nice cup of tea. So I sat down on the opposite sofa and sipped my tea, my eyes half on EastEnders and half on my mum bleeding out over her nice cream carpet. I didn't want to ruin any more tea towels, so I figured it was probably best to wait until the blood dried. And then it struck me. I'd forgotten to do the incantation. What a complete waste of time. I turned Match of the Day back on. At least I still had my manatee. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed No Rehab for Wizards. You can check out some of my other fiction if you go to johncronshaw.com. That's JONCRONSHAW.com. You can check out more of my writing. So remember, hit subscribe, hit like, leave a comment, do all that good stuff. So until next time, cheerio.